Welcome back to Ram Archery Indonesia. Today we have a very special moment because we will review one of the top laminated bow from Indonesia. The bow is actually named Predator. So this Predator bow is created by Abu Umar, the bowyer. So Abu Umar gave us opportunity to review the bow, and because of the nature of laminated bow, we will also do some comparison with one of the top bow from Hungary, which is Vegh. So we will compare Predator and Vegh. So let me start by showing this bow. This is actually Vegh. This is Vegh bow, okay, laminated bow. So all of the laminated bow usually have some layers, contain of some layers. I just know that the first layer is actually fiber, but very thin fiber, about 0.8 millimeter. So it's very thin layer of fiber, and then there is core wood inside. This Vegh is actually made by core oak wood, and this is the curvature. Okay, this is the shear curvature. And let's see the other one. The other one is Predator. So this one is an Indonesian bow created by bowyer Abu Umar. So in terms of curvature, is a C-style curvature from Turkey. Okay. In terms of material, this is also laminated bow. The first layer is fiberglass, and the core is actually oak wood. Some part of the handle is also maybe different type of wood, but it's all wood with laminated fiberglass. Okay. In terms of curvature, it's very similar. Let's see the comparison between this Predator and the Vegh. So if you see, in terms of size, Vegh is slightly shorter, but Predator is slightly longer. Okay, but the curvature is really similar. Let's see on the other side, downside curvature. In the front is actually Vegh, and in the back side is Predator. If you can see, it's very similar curvature with some difference in terms of length. If you see, this is the front side and this is the back side. Very similar. Okay. In terms of weight, this one is above 300, maybe 320, 310. Okay. But this one is very interesting because Predator is actually only at 287 grams. Okay. So is lighter, okay, than this Vegh. Even though the composition is quite the same, it's laminated fiberglass with some oak wood, but this one can achieve more reduced mass, so it's a lower mass compared to the Vegh. So this is ready for comparison. So if you can see here, the width of the limbs is quite similar, maybe about 2-3 centimeter. Okay. The finishing is good. Both of these bow have good finishing. We will review closer after this. But before we do, let's measure some dimension of the bow. Let's start with the Predator. So first, let's measure the string length. Usually for people outside Indonesia, they are more familiar with inch. So this one is in inch. Let me check. Is 44 inches. Yep, 44 inches. And then now let's check the knock to knock in inch. This is the knock to knock. Yep, is about 50 inches knock to knock. Okay, so Predator is 50 inches knock to knock. So this is the string of Vegh. Let's measure the string of Vegh from 43 inches. 43. And now let's check the knock to knock of Vegh. Okay, let's try to measure the knock to knock. Yep, this one is Vegh. Okay, 49. So Vegh is quite 1 inch shorter compared to Predator. Predator is 50 and Vegh is 49. Okay, so now it's ready to string. Let me string first. Okay, this is Vegh in strung position. Okay, you can see the curvature. It's a Turkish style. Let's measure the breast height. This is the breast height, 7.5 inches breast height. Okay, and now this is the Predator. It's quite different curvature after we strung. So it's quite different with Vegh. We will compare later. But let's check the breast height first. So the breast height is exactly 7 inches. So it's quite lower than Vegh. Vegh is 7.5 inches. Okay. Now is the time to see both of the bow when it gets strung. Okay. So if you see, Vegh is more inward. So the limbs of Vegh is go deeper inward, but Predator is actually more outward. So this is because if you see also there is difference between breast height between Vegh and Predator. So Predator breast height is 7.5 inches. Vegh breast height is 8 inches. Okay? But in terms of curvature is quite different. You can see again, it's quite different after strung. Okay, this is the front side. As you can see, both using oak wood and both have some natural wooden style experience. Okay, very nice. Let's look closer on the bow and let's start this time with Predator. So now let's look on the sia of this bow. So it's quite short sia. Is at the size of my finger, and this sia is actually laminated between wood, and there is also area here which is horn. This one is actually horn, this black one. It's very secure. If you see here, inside for the string position is going inside, but is protected by this horn layer. And the finishing is really good. If you can see, it's very lean and precise. And this is laminated area of the sia. Okay. And if you see here, there is a string bridge. This is it's actually wood. It's maple wood. So the whole core is actually oak wood, but this one is maple, and the string is dakkon. And now let's look on the limbs. This limb is not too big at the size of Vegh limbs, okay? But can you see here, the finishing is actually fiberglass layer, very thin fiberglass layer, but it still shows the nature of the oak wood, the pattern of the oak wood here. It's very beautiful, okay? And then go to the handle side. It has additional wood here to make sure that your hands is good for you to hold this. You can see here, this is the curve of the handle. It's beautiful wooden style, okay? See here. In terms of finishing, I think this has a high score of finishing because you cannot recognize there is a very thin fiberglass here. You think this is just the wood, but it's actually there is a very thin fiberglass layer. And now let's look on the belly side. This is the sia belly, and this go to belly side. also have the woods, okay? See? Very high precision on finishing. It pay attention to detail, for example, on this part and also on the string bridge. String bridge design is very well designed. Is a maple wood, but very well positioned for the string. Between the string and the sia, there is a space here, enough space to make sure that the vibration is not go to the sia and to the limbs. So we can expect from this design actually the vibration and hand shock is very less. Okay? Now let's see the Vegh. So this is the sia of Vegh. It has some micarta. It has some point here, but compared to Predator, Predator provide the horn layer here, which is also very powerful. But this one is actually micarta, and the hole for the string is quite small, okay? And the sia is quite similar, but the string bridge is just a ladder. And usually I have difficulties when I have to string this Vegh, because sometimes the string is not well positioned and is potentially can make the bow twisted. So this is the limbs, fiberglass layer, very thin fiberglass. This is the handle of Vegh. Okay, in terms of handle is smaller than Predator. Okay, but fit to your hand too. Okay, this one is the front side. In terms of finishing is good. One area of improvement for Vegh is actually this layer, which is string bridge. The string bridge is quite risky for twist, okay? And in many cases, I try to fix twisting of this bow. So here you can see the difference between the sia of Predator and of Vegh. So it's not exactly the same. It has unique design. So Predator actually have a string bridge and string bridge from maple, make it more stable, make it less hand shock. But if you see here, the string bridge of Vegh is just leather and directly interact with the sia. In terms of thickness, the sia thickness is quite similar. Okay. It's also from oak wood, the same material. Yep. And from the front side, you can see, you can compare both. In summary, this two bow is actually very similar, but have unique designs. We cannot say that this one is copied the another one because it has a very different breast height. So if you see before, the breast height of Predator is lower, Vegh is bigger by ½ inch, okay? And also the size, knock to knock size is quite different. So what about if we test, shooting test, okay? Later after this, we will go to the place for the shooting test. Now let's start to do the shooting test for both Predator and Vegh. So this is the Predator. Before we do shooting test, make sure that we see the straightness is very straight, and also check if it's twist or not. It's very straight, good. Symmetry is almost perfect. Okay. So let's try to draw without any arrow, but don't do dry fire. This is maybe 28, 30. Okay. Okay, let me check the draw weight. This is the arrow. I will check using these tools. Okay. Okay. Let's check. $28. Wow. Okay. So this is, yeah. So maybe I can only reach 27 inch, and this one is actually 50, around 50 lbs. Let's try the FEC. So this is FEC. When I bought this bow, the spec is actually at 48 lbs, but let's test it again. Okay. Yep, 49, almost 50. Okay. So I hope the bow is comparable. And now let's start the shooting test. We will use 30 inches arrow. This is maybe 9 GPP. Yep, 30 inches. Let me start shot the FEC. Okay, this is FEC. We will use our FX radar chronograph. Okay, full draw. 172 FPS. Now we will use the same arrow that is being used for FEC. This is the same arrow, okay, but this is Predator. So we will see the test result around 50 lbs, both sides, full draw. Wow, this is 188. So we will use the same 30 inches arrow. Each of bow have 6. This is FEC. This is the first one, full draw, 170. Second arrow, full draw, 172. The third arrow, FEC. This is FEC, third arrow, full draw, 177. The fourth arrow for FEC, 188, 6. And this is the fifth arrow for FEC, 174. And this one is the last arrow for FEC. Let's start. 173. Okay, now we will use the same arrow, but for Predator. Full draw, 183. Full draw, 186. Full draw, 187. $187. Oh, previously 186. Now 7. Wow, 191. $195. Amazing. 6 arrow. So I think FEC is not better than this in terms of power. So in short, this bow is lighter, better design, and of course more power, more performance. Okay. Later we can check more about the accuracy, but because this is the first test, then I think this is enough for now. I'm really amazed that Indonesian bowyer can make things like this. So if you don't have your Predator for now, you can check directly to Mr. Abu Umar to get one of Predator. See you in the other ram archery session.